Episode 150 has arrived, and has it changed for your host? I've started going to the gym. Not to get ripped or anything, but I'm out of shape and getting pains I don't want or need. No doubt I'll groan about this in near and far-flung future. But, as they say, no pain, no gain, eh? And without groans, there is no show. Onwards! What we got for you, our beloved groaners? 4 games to test your grey matter, and lots of groantent along the way. Kicking it all off is yours truly with my groan trio. Cyclists not using cycle lanes. So I was in a taxi the other day, groaners, and there was a taxi lane. Right, I'm leaving this in, groaners, because I made a massive mistake here. It was a cycle lane on the pavement. Yet this clueless moron was cycling in the middle of the road. Taxi driver calmly questioned my traffic lights and got a gob full of abuse. Right, cyclists, you want to use the road? Fine, but you should be charged road tax because of divs like him. Yelling about his camera being on? What a melon. People not understanding self-service checkouts. I was in the checkout queue the other day, and this guy was going bonkers at the machine. Can't even scan his product in. He looked around 30. How can you not understand a simple concept such as self-scanning your items in? Scan, hit pay, scan card, leave. What's so hard? Gym pain. I've started going to the gym again and enjoy it. I stretch, etc. for lift weights, etc. Why is it that my body hates what is clearly good for it? Arms ache all week and my legs felt like jelly on Thursday just gone. The worst equipment for me is the shoulder lift. That sucks so bad. Was some of this equipment made pre-gym era to torture people for information or just for fun? I'm still going to go, but why does gym pain need to exist? Give me the gain with no pain. Pillows, please. I'm going to crash after this episode. I've had a groaners, but I'm sure to make the void of the groan zone wait for the audience one before it shuts its gaping maw for another week. Well, I said I hadn't retired, and I was right. Here is Yes or BS, which is your first game for this week. And unfortunately, we have no audience groaners, so you'll be playing along after the recording. Remember, avoid the BS, especially in round 2 or 3, or your points could go bye-bye. Yes or BS, round 1, the first oldest sport round. A. London's first gym opened in 1844. B. Weightlifting started becoming a sport in the 15th century. Or C. The oldest bodybuilder is 90 years old. Pause here, groaners. Have a little think. Answer, then unpause. Moving on, round number 2. The putting the shine on Sheen round. A. Charlie Sheen earned $3 million per episode of the sitcom 2.5 Men. B. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are related by marriage. Or C. Red Dawn was Charlie Sheen's first movie role alongside the late Patrick Swayze in 1984. Pause here, groaners. Have a little think. Answer, then unpause. And then moving on, last round, round 3, the fast food round. A. The Colonel from KFC is just a selling gimmick. B. White Castle is the oldest burger joint in America. Or C. All wimpy burger joints have closed in the UK. Pause here, groaners. Have a little think. Answer, then unpause. And speaking of answers, the answers will be coming on later. Taking us onwards now, we have Why Oh Why. As I go through life, I find myself baffled by many things, but one that really baffles me is this. Walking around with your gob constantly open. These people keep it open after they are done speaking to as they walk. Why? Stop it! I must ask, mouth gaping like a clueless fish. Why, oh why? And with that, groaners, that takes us on to Admin Nicole's Creepy Corner. Your story title for episode 150 is called A Strong Name. Carla didn't have time to let things sink in. Robin told her it was time to go before the workers realised she was missing. She grabbed the small turtle-like creature in her arms and asked him to be quiet while they left. The outside of the room was vast. Large hallways filled with doors leading who knows where. Luckily for them, Robin had spent years mapping out this entire facility. There was a lift he had heard of that took the scientists to the surface, to the real world above, but he himself had never used it. How could he when Carla was still down here? He used to think about reuniting with them both in the many long cold years he spent in hiding. However, now he had to think about whether to tell Carla a truth he knew she couldn't handle, one he could barely handle himself. They hid behind boxes, snuck around corners, did everything they could to keep out of sight. Robin noticed early on that something was wrong. He had memorised the shift patterns and all the staff in this whole facility, but now there were far too many people he had never seen before. This could simply be because Carla had escaped. The alarms hadn't gone off yet. So far the planned misunderstanding of her being someone must still be in effect. After sneaking around the facility for as long as they had, the baby turtle began to get bored. He wanted to walk, to run. Not that Carl even knew if he could. They weren't far from where Robin had been living though. They just had to get there. He had stolen materials from them and enough food to survive. In some ways, he must know more about this facility than the scientists themselves. Carl had to stay on lookout while Robin shifted some boxes to move a grate in the floor. He took the turtle from Carla and told her to jump in. The hole looked deep, and there was no way for her to know how deep it was. One of those rare times she was glad to be part deer, and no jumping was an issue for her. Once down in the darkened pit, Robin handed her the turtle baby and climbed down himself. He pulled the grate back over the hole and pulled a nearby lever to slide the boxes back over the grate, sealing them in but keeping others out. Robin switched on the light as Carla placed a small child on the ground, finally free in a sense. The space wasn't big, but there was a hallway leading to a number of rooms. Carla walked over to what she thought was a sofa to rest on, but was in fact just a pile of wool sewn into some leaves. The small turtle tried waddling over to her, but kept falling over. She needed answers, but she couldn't help but think she wasn't getting them. She saw how Robin acted, checking every little thing, his eyes darting all over the room. This wasn't someone who had stayed by choice. This was someone who had never stopped surviving. Someone incapable of just living. We'll be safe here for now. I need to gather up my things and my research, and then I'll get you both out of here. We stand out too much. Probably nothing like whatever is living up there in the real world. We're outcasts, freaks. Essentially nothing more than aliens and experiments. I wish I could give you a better life, even with a turtle that's lashed onto you, but I can't. I don't know what to do, but I'll figure it out before we leave. I have the data map from his generation too. I might be able to find out what exactly he is. That should help you at least, Robin explained. Carla picked up the small turtle and sat him on her lap. She began to wonder if the small creature could give Robin a chance at life. One he never had because of her. The guilt of that realization creeped up on her out of nowhere. It was true though. He could have been reconditioned and happy without her, but he never let go of his sister or Carla, and she couldn't help but wonder why. All she could do for now was push it aside and try to distract Robin, to give him something better to focus on, even just for a brief moment. So she decided to ask for his help on what to name him. She was initially thinking something to represent what he was, like Shelley, or Sheldon, or even Sheltar. Robin sighed in disbelief and told her she couldn't name a child any of those. She needed to give him a strong name to give him a strong life, so she suggested Michelangelo or Raphael. He denied those too, so she suggested Leonardo, which was also ignored. In the last-ditch attempt, she tried Donatello, but the mere thought of that name just made the turtle boy begin to cry. That was definitely out. So Carla gave up. She told Robin he needed to name him if he was so determined to ignore her every suggestion. Robin came close to sit next to Carla and held the turtle boy in his arms as he looked in his eyes. You look like your best friend is going to be a rat, so I'm not calling you Splinter. We also don't really know what exactly you are outside of this shell. Poseidon might be too strong of a name for you too. I know just the one for you. From now on, your name will be Cove, Robin said. Carl wasn't sure how she felt about the name, but the small turtle seemed pretty happy with it, so that's what they stuck with. Cove seemed the most fitting in Robin's eyes. As he said, coves are full of mysteries, and often you find all kinds of treasures and skeletons in them. He hoped it would instill strength in the young turtle, hopefully just a turtle anyway. Well written there, Nicole. Was loving the part where you're hiding the names of the Ninja Turtles, as well as Splinter. That was really well done. More from Creepy Corner next week, Groaners, and we tune in for another game now with Talking Nonsense. You all know this one, Groaners. I speak reverse English to you, aka gibberish. You've got to flip around in your brain and try and guess from a clue what the hell it is. So, here we go, Groaners. Round 1. You can be said to be doing this in gym, but it was also an Arnold Schwarzenegger gym documentary. Your nonsense is... Round 2. Meat and some types of edible bars contain this. Your nonsense is... And round 3. You can wear these to the gym, but also one of them can help you get the most out of your workout. Your nonsense is... Pause here, Groaners. Have a little thing about all 3. Answer every single one. And the answers for Talking Nonsense will come later on. Now, Groaners, we've gone from games back to groans. With the audience groan. I did tell you the audience groan would be waiting in the wings, and the groan zone has been waiting for this. This one came in from my personal WhatsApp from a friend of the show who goes by the alias of Green. His groan is very short. Just teenage girls. They make no sense. I think what he's getting at, Groaners, is he has 2 boys and his oldest is a teenage girl. His oldest is a teenage girl. He doesn't understand her strange ways. Yep, I get you, Green. I simply don't understand the younger generation in general. Good groan. If you want to groan in like Green did, you haven't got my personal WhatsApp, but there are many different ways to contact the show. You can contact either myself or admin Nicole under Nicole Amos or Mr. E. Groaner. Staying with Facebook, you can come onto Facebook groups and find us under the Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. You can join us on Discord, where we would normally record every Friday, 8:30 Greenwich Mean Time, but you can also leave messages there, take part in weird little quizzes, and that kind of thing on Discord. You can email us using this trusty old email, which is thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can leave a comment on any one of the many platforms that you listen on, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube. It's all there. Drop a comment and we will most certainly review it, pick it up and put it in the show if we can. This takes us on to one of our usual sections called What The? Okay, so science can be weird and all sorts of things have been done over the years to aid in dentistry. Teeth. Without them we'd be buggered, unable to chew properly or in some cases bite through something. Like anything in the body, they can be prone to wear and tear, or even breaking. I've been subject to that over the years. However, I didn't think I'd ever hear about a type of toothpaste made from, wait for it, Groaners, hair. Apparently, this special toothpaste can repair teeth naturally. I foresee a lot of bald people in future with great teeth, or men being mugged for their hair, and lots of robbers having great teeth. Science. Man, it's a good thing, but what the indeed? And the what the moves us along towards our zero of the week. Next time you go abroad, Groaners, think twice about buying a sandwich containing cheese, or cured meats, or even one of those 3 items on their own. Why? Well, bringing one of them into the country could land you with a hefty fine of up to $5,000. The problem is a lot of people genuinely don't know what is or isn't banned. Even if you buy these items in an airport for your flight, you could still get done and landed with a fine. Apparently, it is to curb the spread of foot and mouth disease. I thought this disease wasn't as problematic, but this ban has been in place since April of this year, Whoever handles notifying people about these kind of things is a turnip because they haven't done a bloody good job, have they? Best intentions, yet still a neat brain. 0 status for you. Stay with me now, groaners, because you have another game coming your way. It is the 5-point countdown. Are you ready, groaners out there? Of course you are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clue 5 for 5 points. You can wear these for going to the gym, regardless of size. Pause here, groaners. Have a think. Chuck a guess out there. You might get lucky. And then unpause. Clue 4 for 4 points. They can be thick or thin. Pause your groaners. Guesses out there, then unpause. Clue 3 for 3 points. They can be worn in winter to keep you warm, but don't have pockets. Pause. Guesses again, groaners, then unpause. Clue 2 for 2 points. Sometimes ballet versions have loops on the bottom to go under your foot. Again, pause. Guesses out there, groaners, then unpause. Last clue, clue 1 for 1 point. They stupidly usually don't have any pockets. Pause here, groaners. Have a think. Guesses, then unpause. And the answer to the 5-point countdown will come later. And now, groaners, we now take you to a creepier part of the podcast. We've already had creepy earlier, but now we're going to go into possibly what is real life creepy. I took the story from a website. Unfortunately, I can't remember the website, but full credit to it. So these words are not my own, so I'm going to read it out, and I hope it gives you the heebie-jeebies, because it certainly did wig me out. The Phone Stalker. In 2007, ABC News documented a series of cell phone calls to families with terrifyingly specific death threats. The unidentified callers knew exactly what families were doing and what they were wearing. The families say the calls come in around the clock, night, morning, afternoon, whenever, threatening to kill their children, their pets, even their grandparents. Voicemails arrive, playing recordings of their private conversations, including one which detailed a local conversation with a police detective. The caller knows, the family said, what they're wearing and what they're doing at the exact time, and after months of investigating, police seem to have no power to stop this. This went on with the Kennel family for months, who clearly reported a caller with a scratchy voice threatening to cut their throats. When the Faircrest Wash police tried to find the culprit, the calls are traced back to the phones of the family, their own phones, even when they were switched off. It got worse though. The Kendalls and 2 other Faircrest families told ABC News that they believe the callers are using their cell phones to keep watch and to spy on them. They say the hackers know their every single move, where they are, what they're doing, and even what they're wearing. The callers have recorded private conversations, the families and police said, including a meeting with a local detective. And whoever wrote this article clearly didn't proofread it, because that's already been repeated twice. But that, groaners, is rather creepy, isn't it? Can you imagine that happening to you? I don't want to imagine it, because now we're going to move on to the final game of the show, which is What the Hell Am I? The picture will appear on Podbean, it will appear on Facebook and Discord. In fact, I hope it does, because I keep forgetting to do it. And your clue is, it's a certain type of equipment you can either raise above your head or throw under your legs to build muscle mass, especially in your arms. And the answer will come next week, groaners. And speaking of answers, here they come for you, starting with the 5-point countdown. Your answer was leggings. If you got the answer at, say, clue number 3, but then you guessed wrong again at clue number 2, you get no points unless you answered right in number 1. So, be honest about where you guessed and where you got it right. Talking nonsense. Your solutions to the following. Round 1 was pumping iron. Round 2, your nonsense was protein. And round 3, your nonsense was trainers. And finally, well, almost finally, because they've got the anagram solution as well coming. Yes or BS. So, round 1, the first oldest sport round. A. London's first gym opened in 1844. This is true. It was called the Gymnasium. B. Weightlifting started becoming a sport in the 15th century. That's false. It was actually the 19th century. And C. The oldest bodybuilder is 90 years old. This is true. His name is Jim Arrington from the USA. Round 2. The Putting the Shine on Sheen round. A. Charlie Sheen earned $3 million per episode of the sitcom 2.5 Men. This is wrong. Back in 2011, he commanded $1.8 million per episode. This made him the highest paid sitcom actor at the time and possibly since. B. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are related by marriage. False. They're actually brothers, and Estevez is their family name from their dad's side. And of course he's called Martin Estevez, or what you might know him as Martin Sheen. Sheen is a stage name for the family. C. Red Dawn was Charlie Sheen's first movie role alongside the late Patrick Swayze in 1984. This is true. After many TV roles, Charlie Sheen did in fact act alongside Patrick Swayze in Red Dawn in 1984 in his first movie role. Round 3. The fast food round. A. The Colonel from KFC is just a selling gimmick. False. Colonel Sanders was a real person. He started selling fried chicken from a service station in Kentucky. B. White Castle is the oldest burger joint in America. This is true, and it started up in 1916. C. All Wimpy burger joints have closed in the UK. This is actually false. While it's not widely advertised anymore, Wimpy is still open in areas of the UK. And finally, the solution to last week's anagram anxiety. The solution was an enemy of the people. Jaws was inspired by Henrik Ibsen's play titled An Enemy of the People, as there was a doctor in that play who tried to warn the townspeople that their resort was contaminated. This play and Moby Dick both helped to inspire the legend that will become Jaws. And with that, groaners, I hope you enjoyed the episode this week. Hope you scored some points as well. Again, if you did get blanked in yes or BS, I'm really sorry, but I can't keep it easy, can I? We'll see you next week, groaners. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. In some ways, he must know more about whoever handles notification.